You're not going to believe what just happened to Roman Reigns behind closed doors at WWE headquarters. What I'm about to show you will completely change how you see his so-called retirement, and trust me, this gets absolutely insane. Stay with me because the real story is darker than you think. Let me take you back to that fateful Monday Night Raw when Roman Reigns was spotted signing what everyone thought was just another contract. But sources close to the situation are now revealing that this wasn't just any contract, this was his death warrant. The lights inside the arena had dimmed hours ago, but one solitary figure remained beneath the rafters. Roman Reigns, still seated in the front row, staring at the empty ring as if willing it to speak. No cameras, no tribal chief persona, just a man stripped of his armor, faith shaking, heartbreaking, on the edge of a goodbye he never imagined making. Here's what we know for sure. Earlier that day, backstage in a private office far removed from production meetings and talent briefings, Roman had received news that shattered the core of everything he had built. Not a storyline, not a scripted twist, this was devastatingly real. But here's what they're not telling you. Multiple sources confirm that a thin envelope, unmarked except for a hospital letterhead and a confidential stamp, sat on that table like a time bomb waiting to explode Roman's entire world. According to leaked documents, Paul Heyman stood nearby, unusually quiet, eyes red from what witnesses described as the most heartbreaking moment in WWE history. Roman opened that letter slowly, his fingers betraying a tremor no one had ever seen inside the squared circle. Industry insiders reveal that he read the first line, then the second. But when you hear what that third line said, everything will make sense. By the third line, his lips parted and his breath caught like a man drowning in his own destiny. But wait, it gets worse. The letter contained 3 words that would change everything. Possible relapse detected. The same disease he had once conquered, leukemia, now shadowed him again like a ghost refusing to stay buried. And this time, the doctors were brutally honest. Your immune system has weakened significantly. We urge immediate cessation of all high-contact activity. The risks are no longer manageable. Think about it, doesn't it seem suspicious that Roman, the most dominant force in WWE, would just walk away at the peak of his power? Behind-the-scenes footage shows the real Roman Reigns, not the character, but Joe Anoa'i, sitting in silence for over 20 minutes, unable to form words while Paul placed a hand on his shoulder, anchoring him to reality. And that's when things got interesting. Sources close to the Bloodline confirmed that Roman's first call wasn't to WWE corporate. It wasn't even to his own family. It was to Seth Rollins. The leaked phone conversation reveals Roman's voice, distant like he was trying to speak underwater. "Hey man, you up? I got my results back. It's not good. It's back." Here's where it gets really crazy. The next morning, WWE Stamford offices were flooded with internal chatter. An emergency meeting was called by Triple H, but here's the bombshell nobody's talking about. Executives filed into that boardroom with scripts in hand, all of them suddenly irrelevant. There would be no Bloodline twist that week. No heel turn, no comeback angle. There would only be the crushing weight of reality. Before I continue with this earth-shattering revelation, I need to know, are you team Roman should return or team he should stay retired for his health? Let me know in the comments because your responses to my last Roman video were absolutely insane, and this story is about to get even more intense. But here's the part that will blow your mind. Backstage at SmackDown, whispers turned into confirmation when Jimmy USO was seen pacing, phone in hand, voice cracking like a teenager. Jay locked himself in his dressing room, refusing to come out. Solo stood with his head lowered, his usually unshakable posture faltering under news that would destroy the Bloodline forever. According to multiple witnesses, Roman prepared his statement, not for the press, not even for the WWE Universe, but for his family. A handwritten letter sat in his lap as he positioned himself at the head of his kitchen table at home. Galena, his wife, sat opposite him, holding his hand like it was the last time she'd ever get the chance. Plot twist. It turns out the letter Roman wrote that night contained words that would make grown men weep, to the ones I lead, and the ones who made me strong enough to lead. Life gave me a second chance once. I ran with it. I fought. I conquered. And I gave everything to the ring. But this time, it's not about titles. It's not about legacy. It's about time. Time I don't want to lose with all of you. And that's when everything changed. Word of the letter reached Vince McMahon, triggering an emergency clause in Roman's contract that allowed him to step away immediately in case of medical crisis. No appearances, no scripts, no questions asked. But here's what nobody expected. Roman refused to vanish into the night. The explosive truth? He demanded one final appearance. No storyline, no character, just him, just Joe, speaking from a heart that was breaking in real time. When that Friday night came, the crowd packed the arena expecting a typical Bloodline segment. What they got instead was devastating. A single spotlight. A black hoodie. A microphone. And Roman Reigns standing at the center of the ring, not as the tribal chief, but as a man saying goodbye to everything he'd ever loved. The fallout was immediate and chaotic. His words that night, sometimes strength doesn't mean holding on. Sometimes strength is knowing when it's time to let go, sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. Tears streamed down fans' faces. Paul Heyman stood at the entrance ramp with his hand over his heart. Even Solo Sikoa, ever stoic, looked visibly shaken by the raw emotion pouring from his cousin's soul. So let me break this down for you. This whole situation reveals a disturbing pattern in WWE. The company's biggest stars are literally sacrificing their health for our entertainment. Roman's departure isn't just about one man's battle with disease. It's about an industry that demands everything until there's nothing left to give. But here's the part that nobody's talking about. If this is true, it would explain why Roman's farewell felt so final, so desperate, so unlike anything we've ever seen from the tribal chief. This wasn't a work, this was a man staring mortality in the face and choosing family over fame. This could mean we're witnessing the end of an era that defined modern WWE. Without Roman Reigns, the entire landscape shifts. Solo Sikoa's desperate grab for power, the Bloodline's implosion, Seth Rollins stepping into the void, it all makes sense when you realize they're not just filling a storyline gap, they're trying to replace the irreplaceable. And honestly, I think we're just seeing the beginning of WWE's post-Roman reality. The company is scrambling, ratings are fluctuating, and every superstar is wondering if they'll be the next to carry the impossible burden that Roman shouldered for nearly 4 years. What do you think really happened here? Am I crazy, or does this whole retirement seem like Roman protecting something bigger than his career? Was this really about his health, or is there a deeper conspiracy at play? Drop your theories in the comments below because I have a feeling this story is far from over. And don't forget to subscribe because tomorrow I'm exposing the leaked footage of Solo Sikoa's backstage meltdown after Roman's farewell. And trust me, what he said about his cousin will shock you to your core. You're not ready for the family secrets I uncovered. If you want more WWE conspiracy theories and behind-the-scenes drama, check out this video where I revealed the real reason why Cody Rhodes was chosen to dethrone Roman Reigns. The corporate manipulation will blow your mind.